All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show here on the Strickland YouTube channel. And if you're listening to this day after Strickland Podcast Network, I am Sam. I'm joined by Schwinn. Knicks win their third preseason game in overtime, which was very unpleasant to
Yeah,
experience.
amazing. Just exactly what everybody was looking for.
They should just have these games end in a tie. I don't think it matters who wins or loses. These games really don't mean anything. But the Knicks win 100-95 over the Timberwolves, who also played another overtime game just, I think, yesterday or the day before against the Pacers. So Timberwolves, they seem to be getting into these really exciting games in preseason. Lucky for them. But yeah, I mean, I have been not been really paying much attention to these preseason games just because I'm just waiting for the real games to start to really make my full judgments on the team. Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff to look for in some of these games in terms of what the Knicks are looking to do differently as opposed to last year, and you're seeing little inklings of that in the way that they've played so far on both sides of the ball. So that's been interesting to see if it will translate to the regular season, because we know things sometimes do transfer over to the regular season from preseason, and a lot of times they don't. So we'll see there. But Schwinn, your thoughts on this game?
Um, Not really. I mean, I have thoughts. I was happy to see them. I thought they created a lot of good threes, a lot of good corner threes. Actually, they just can't make a three right now. So that was good to see. I think they're definitely getting the ball up the floor faster. What they do once the ball is there is still very much a work in progress. I think they're not quite sure how to flow into things. I think they're not even sure sometimes. I don't know how to. Mike Brown talked kind of at some point, I don't know, after one of the preseason practices about just how once everybody's drilled, things should just flow, and you should be able to kind of read how the defense plays something, and that should tell you what your read is, what your cut is. You want to have certain spots on the floor always filled. So it's almost like it should be second nature, and it's definitely not second nature right now. So you can see that at times in the second quarter, especially. I think things really, really got bogged down a bit, but that's to be expected. So yeah, I mean, I thought overall offensive process, a lot of it is good. Definitely still things they need to clean up. Was pretty impressed with the defense. Actually, I thought the defense looked really good today. And one thing with the shooting, and I think this is worth saying, is just it is definitely weird for them to have gone to Abu Dhabi. So they started their preseason, they go to Abu Dhabi for 2 games, and they come back, they have to fly back here. It would not surprise me if they shoot a lot better in kind of the 5th preseason game, whoever they're playing the last one. Wouldn't surprise me if there's a little bit of just the impact of flying and all that, kind of the travel and time differences and everything. So that's part of it. And then, so I don't know, just the shooting, obviously it needs to be better, and there's nothing else to really say. You figure that given the track record of a lot of these guys, it will improve, and they'll figure that out. So not too worried about it. Probably the biggest concern I have that I think they need to figure out is once they enter the ball, once they give the ball to one of the bigs. With Mitch, they're pretty good about it, because I think Mitch is also just he gets the ball and he wants to get rid of it pretty fast. But with Cat, you see this a lot. With Yabusele, you saw it quite a bit, where it's once they get the ball, they kind of need to figure out what they're supposed to be doing after that. There seems to be
They make a quicker decision, because especially Cat is the one that he's the biggest culprit of it, where he will just really stand and start pivoting around, looking around, and that makes it easier for guys to steal the ball from him, force him into a turnover. So,
and I think some of that isn't even just Cat, though. I think some of that is also the other guys not kind of instinctively reading what they should be doing or whatever. I don't know exactly what the full system is supposed to look like right now, but That's probably my main concern coming out of this game. It's not really, I mean, it is a concern, but it's not really something I'm losing sleep over. I think that's stuff that you get figured out as time goes on. But yeah, defensively, I thought they were really good. I think that when they were able to get set up, I thought they were pretty solid. I thought they did a good job of keeping Edwards, specifically, I guess I should say, out of the paint. Maybe not even out of the paint, but away from the rim. Some of their switching and how they're supposed to cover certain screen coverages obviously can get screwed up, but like that's any normal team, especially this early in the season. So overall, I thought this was an encouraging game. This was their first game against an actual fucking basketball team. So like it was a bit of a kind of like, oh right, this is what it feels like. This is what it looks like. This is what NBA competition is versus whatever the fuck the Sixers are throwing out there for a couple of games. I mean, if there's one thing that I'm just like, I don't know, man. Jordan Clarkson, I don't know. It's not so much the decision making for me as much as like
experience.
The decision making is its own thing, but it's like you kind of have to. You knew that coming in. I'm just a little. My radar's up on maybe the burst. Maybe the burst is it's not there, or worse yet, it's gone. We'll have to see. But based on what we've seen in preseason, I would feel much better about like Malcolm Brogdon in the rotation right now than Clarkson. But it is preseason, so I try not to overreact to this too much because we see, Johnny Juzang looked like, Jesus the other night. So preseason is its own weird thing at times.
Yeah, no, I mean, what you call it? Clarkson's definitely an interesting character. A lot of people had said that he was going to bring the vibes of J.R. Smith. I'm hoping that we see a lot of more of the highs of the vibes of J.R. Smith more than the lows, which, we all saw the lows of J.R. Smith here. The untying of the shoelaces and the very poor decision making on and off the court. So hope Jordan Clarkson, is more of the good that we saw in J.R. Smith here. But yeah, no, he's definitely interesting. I mean, when he's on, and we've seen it, in Utah and in previous stops that like he can like get on a heater and be really good. But if he's not, then it's gonna be a lot of like what we saw at campaign last year, probably, but just in a little bit of a bigger body.
Good news, Sam. Looks like Russell Wilson might have to come in here for a snap. So.
Oh no, thank you, no. I don't watch that team that much. I don't watch a lot of New York teams that much, except for the Knicks, and for very good reason.
I think he'll be fine. It just looked like his helmet popped up and fucked up his face a little bit. The Clarkson thing is just, we'll see. It's too early to write anything off. I think I'm not at that point yet. And I think anybody that is probably should relax. It's possible that he is washed, though. I'm not like dismissing it at all, but I would just pump the brakes on that. I will say though, like I've felt better about basically everybody else that's come off the bench. I felt better about Brogdon. I felt better about Garrison Matthews. I felt better about Shamet. Obviously, felt better about Deuce.
Brogdon moves like an old man, but yeah.
And like even Yabusele, who I think is still trying to like find where he fits in various lineups. Like that is normal to me. Like if all Clarkson struggles were just like, I felt like, oh, well, he's trying to feel out like when he should, and it's like, okay, fine. I can understand that. But some of the stuff is, yeah, I know he's a Chuck. Like that's always been what he is, but he needs to just be able to create better shots. And also, like, can you stop taking pull-up threes in transition? You're not a good three-point shooter. So that shouldn't just be like your shot. Like, that's just not a thing. Yeah, that's actually the one thing
he took.
Yeah.
The first shot that he took of the game was a disgusting pull-up three.
The one thing that's the only shot I would be like, you can't take that shot. Like no pull-up threes in transition ever. Never. Like that's not your shot. You're not a good 3-point shooter to begin with. So that's not one that you're allowed to take.
Unless you're on like an absolute heater.
Yeah. And even then, I'm just going to say no. Nope.
Let Shamit do that. That's Shamit's kind of.
Well, I mean, at this point though, nobody can make threes, so who knows?
Yeah. Brandon Williams over here in the comments. So we'll get to some comments here. He says Cat and McCall looked good on defense. McCall is way better defending off ball with his length. Defensively, what did you see that? Did you see anything that like stood out to you? I liked the turnover on Randall just because right after
that was so
Clyde
good.
Was like quintessential Randall.
That was just so satisfying because this like he was playing this game so fucking hard. Like
he was.
He was playing so hard.
He was playing like he was trying to like, you know, battle those weed demons.
Yeah, I mean it's hard, you know. He probably didn't want to fucking relapse and get high again and go eat like, you know, a pound of chicken and rice or something after the game. But I don't know. I just he was annoying. That steal was very satisfying. But yeah, no, I think their defense, they look like they're like you could tell that they did a good job of getting into their shell early in the clock today. I thought that was very key to just like how they looked, and them being able to stifle the Timberwolves in the half court. It's also worth mentioning, like the Timberwolves are a team that you can kind of figure out. You know, there are guys who you can help off of with them and stuff like that.
Also, they're running like Dante at point guard today, so like there was that too.
Yeah, that definitely helped the cause.
Love Dante.
Jay McDaniels. Daniels had a weird game. But yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to. I haven't seen that much to get upset about with overall, and I'm just trying not to take too much out of preseason just because I feel like that is always a trap. Most of the guys that you like know with the track record that are good will end up being the good players in the regular season. Obviously, for younger guys, it's very important. And to that end, like I would say that if I had a big positive takeaway from preseason for the Knicks, I would say that I think that like I felt like really good about every minute Huck Porty has played when he's come on in the preseason. I mean, every second I feel like he's out there. I think he looks physically really, really good. Looks like he's dropped more weight. He had a dunk today where he gathered that. Like, I don't know. He must have been like, when he went up for it, I was like, oh, that could get, and then he just skied over whoever the hell it was and slammed that shit down. And look, like he hasn't been playing against frontline starters for the most part, but he's not going to be playing against frontline starters for the most part. So him looking the way he does in those minutes, you know, him, like the minutes he played today, he looked like the best player on the floor when he was on. And he was completely owning the game defensively. I think his pick and roll coverages look sharp. His reading looks a lot like just reading of the defensive coverages looks a lot sharper right now than it did last year. He's just looks like he's in great shape. I would, you know, I even think, you know, he's always kind of flashed a little playmaking ability, which is encouraging to see. He had a nice little dime for Brogdon early, like as soon as he came in. I think Brogdon might have gotten fouled on the play. I forgot exactly what happened. But he just looks really good. And if he's the Knicks' third center or fourth center, I guess, depending on how they feel about Yabusele at the 5, I mean, I think you're in a very, very good spot at that point.
I think if he's as viable as he looks right now, and if he's able to stay healthy, I think that like with Mitch saying that he wasn't sure about playing back-to-backs this year. I think that was a quote that came out when training camp initially opened. If Porty is able to, be a solid big, then that really makes that possible for Mitch to really get as much rest as possible during the regular season, so that way he's as fresh as possible in the playoffs. So yeah, that's one thing to keep an eye on this year.
Yeah, for sure.
We have here Kevin Pierre. He says Clarkson's record scratching chucks are going to be fun to watch. I don't know what your definition of fun is, but
fun, like if you like enjoy, punching yourself in the dick, kind of fun. Yeah, no, I don't know. I do think there is a little bit of like adjustment to new teammates and stuff like that going on, and
also it's like, hey, you're on a winning team now. You don't have to be like an asshole.
Well, and to give him some credit, I did think when he came back in the second half, I felt like he was clearly trying to do a little bit more
basketball.
Yeah, he definitely was trying to play a little bit more on the flow, get other guys involved, and not just hunt his shot. So that's good to see. Obviously, you want that to continue. It's just I would like the 3-guard lineup with him, Deuce, and Brunson. I'm not sure is ever going to work. Like they just need to be so good offensively, and because defensively, obviously, you have weaknesses all over the floor there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not writing him off, but I am definitely looking at him like a little side-eyed, just not sure that I'm totally sold there. But yeah, that I think the only two things I'm like the 3-guard lineup I'm not in on, just that specific one especially. I'm just not seeing it, and like, look, I'm not going to kill Mike Brown for trying it, and we'll see how it goes, but if that doesn't get turned around at a certain point, I think it's okay to pull the plug on it. We'll see what you mean. We still don't really know what the rotation is going to look like when Josh Hart's back because he didn't play again today. So we'll see what that looks like. And I got to say, like, again, I just think Brogdon looks like he feels like the kind of steadying backup point guard that they need when Brunson is out, and he's not just like dominating the ball. He's actually like bringing the ball up, getting off of it, and then he's like collecting the ball back when he realizes, okay, like nothing's going on. So I think he's giving you just a good steady vet hand back there, which I think is needed. And if he can deliver that, it still doesn't mean Clarkson won't play or anything like that, because one, we know Brogdon gets hurt constantly, and two, like on top of that, you have to manage Brogdon's minutes carefully. So even if like Brogdon miraculously stayed healthy for a while, you never know when he's going to get hurt again. So, they brought in a variety of these guys for a reason. I think they are hedging a lot of bets.
I feel like the last time we saw Brogdon like relatively healthy was the Boston Celtics run that they had that year.
Yeah, and he played really well for them. So, look, if he can even give you like 75% of that, I mean, that's a good player. So you take that and you run with it. I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen any minutes of Brogdon with Brunson. I will say that.
Maybe saving that for some little, secret regular season stuff.
Maybe they're saying that for preseason game 4.
Could be that, yeah. All right, we also have... Oh, boy. Oh, sorry about that. John Leary, he says, I saw it was on ESPN radio today complaining still about Thibs being let go. How fun is that existence?
I think I'm gonna enjoy Isola like hating on the Knicks again, because the last couple of years he was just like defending them and defending the coach and defending everything about them was really weird. Not sure I like that.
Twilight Zone. Yeah,
I didn't really enjoy that. So I'm looking forward to hating on Frank Isola again. It's this is
nature is healing.
Yeah, this is like he's not supposed to. say nice things of the Knicks, and we're supposed to all hate Frank Isola. That's how it's supposed to work, and that's good, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep, that is how society should work. John Leary also says that he said he saw that Chris Gent was mentioned as one of the better assistants in a poll for it. I guess he's talking about the NBA poll that goes around, I guess.
Yeah, he got a couple votes on that. I think Darren Irvin got a couple votes on it too. They were both honorable mentions in that, so it's good to see anyway. And the Knicks hired a shooting coach today, so that's cool.
Yeah, I was going to mention they mentioned he was from the Chicago Bulls, and a bunch of the Bulls players were just not happy about Carson Novas not bringing that guy back. Classic Chicago sports team, just doing the absolute worst thing that their players do not like. So you got Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, you got the Chicago Bulls and whatever the fuck they're doing, and who knows what's going on with the White Sox and how shitty they are. The Cubs are in the playoffs, but they'll probably be out soon. But yeah, Chicago sports. Shout out to them. Just as bad as most of New York sports.
Chicago sports is it's a place. It's a place that exists.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about from this game?
I think Mikal looks good. That's all I'll say. Mikal looks good, I think.
He looks confident. It definitely does not look like how last year started, even in preseason for him. We had the whole, what's going on with his shot thing last year. We had the not driving to the basket, scared of free throws thing last year. It seems like he's kind of turned the opposite in all of those ways. So maybe he just really hated Thibs and was just like sticking it to him.
I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm happy that it's no longer happening, or at least it looks like it's no longer happening. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I just think him and Tibbs and a lot of guys maybe just it ran its course. It was over, and they never seemed to get on a good page together. So, if that's what it takes, if it takes Mike Brown and whatever other changes needed to be made to,
Cal just wanted a black coach.
Yeah, maybe they needed to do something to get the best out of him. I guess to get the best out of the group. That is what it is. So, yeah. I mean, I don't think I ever quit on Tibbs, but like, there's a difference between I'm not quitting versus like you actually are. I don't know. Like the way he's playing right now looks like he's having fun, and also like he is playing with a lot like more freedom. Like it feels like he doesn't look like it looks like he's actually enjoying playing. So that's something to consider. I'm not sure I would have called him a joyous basketball player at last year based on how he looked on the floor and whatever, how he conducted himself. He just did not seem like a happy camper for most of the season.
There was not a lot of there was a lot of his celebrations, but they weren't as boisterous as they were in previous years, especially when he was on the Nets and Phoenix. He definitely looked a little bit more thrilled those years than.
Might want to pull up his last.
Yeah, I see it. John Leary says that Mike Brown said that they played this game without a single play call.
It looked like it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. I think they need to get into. He doesn't want to have to call plays for them constantly. He wants them to play out of flow and play within the structure of kind of what exists. So I'm cool with that. I'm sure that when need be, he will call out some plays. But again, like this was a team where Tibbs was constantly calling out plays. Like he constantly called out plays. And, I know the joke is like, oh, well, constantly calling for our Jalen Brunson ISO. But the point is like he was constantly calling out whatever he wanted them to run. And that can be very frustrating for players. And, these guys are they're the best of the best. They're literally the best basketball players in the entire world. They should have some freedom, and they should have some ability to kind of like express themselves. And I don't know that Tibbs was he? I mean, he was just never going to be that coach, right? He's just never going to be that coach. So
that's not who he is.
Yeah, it's not who he is. So, yeah, it was definitely good to see Mike Brown. I mean, that's. I'm not even going to say that's good. I just think it's like that seems to be. It's the type of. That's basically the kind of change you were hoping for when you made the change. So for him to be sticking with that and rolling with that is good, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. They got to learn to, play that read and react. And part of being fast is being able to, just play on the fly without those play calls. So,
yeah.
All right. I think we can wrap things up here, right?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. Make sure you guys check out the next post-game show. We'll be live after the Knicks play the Wizards on, I want to say...
That's Sunday?
Saturday? No, not Saturday. It's Sunday. Wow, these games are really spaced out. I wish the regular season was like this.
Yeah.
No, not Sunday either.
Monday?
Yep, Monday. Wizards Knicks on Monday. All right, so everyone enjoy this weekend free of most of New York sports. It should be very peaceful for a lot of New York fans. But yeah,
it's only the Jets, right? It's just the Jets that play this weekend.
Yep. So Jets fans, good luck to you all. And yeah, we'll be live on Tuesday after the next game. Wow, the Wizards haven't played one preseason game yet.
That's crazy.
Wow. All right. Well, everyone, enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy your weekend. Peace out.
Peace.